You've tuned in to the Top 10 Gardener with garden expert Ken Lain. Join him daily as he answers timely garden questions that are sure to make a difference in your gardens. Now welcome your host, Ken Lain.
And we are back in the studio with Lisa Waters-Lane. She comes each week and just shares her garden insider tips. What's going on in her gardens, or what has she seen in the neighborhoods? Just what's the highlight through her eyes of gardening in the central area of Arizona, Central Highlands of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So it is different up here. Welcome, Lisa.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So we've got, this is high desert.
Yes.
It is, so as soon as you come up the hill from Black Canyon City, you go through all that chaos of I-17, you get up the hill and all of a sudden it cools down.
Mm-hmm.
Plants change, the swallows disappear, and you are in the mountain gardening area. So
that is true.
That's what we're talking about. Central, that's Sedona, Camp Verde, Cottonwood, Prescott Valley, Mayer, you all the way over to Paulden and Chino Valley, down over the hill towards Skull Valley, Hillside, Kirkland. These are all the same. We're all but I'm different. I'm special because I'm in Prescott Valley. Well, I got news for you, Prescott Valley. You're not as special as you think you are. You might just be the same as the rest of us, at least in the gardens. Mm-hmm. So we grow the same stuff. Soils change and the sun direction. So what side of the hill you're viewing change. Right. So soil density, so you get clays and caliche, you got sandy. As you get towards Granite Mountain, you got more sandy, granite-y kind of soil. So many times we'll ask you, where do you live? We're not asking you because we care. We're asking, we're trying to figure out what kind of soil you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because we've dealt with thousands of other gardeners. We can help hone you in. When you show us a picture, I don't really care about your backyard fence. I mean, I've seen hundreds. I'm looking at what other plants are growing there so I can companion plant. We're looking at how much sun is showing up on that fence line. Where are the shadows? We're looking at the nuance of that so we can get the right plant and so we can companion plant those things so you'll have more success. We're trying to give you advice. Mm-hmm. Now, Doc, my chest hurts. Why? Well, I'm not quite sure. Let's take a look at this. And there's probably dozens of reasons. The same in your backyard. There's dozens of plants that could fit and not fit. So we're trying to get you where you don't make as many mistakes. Anyway, I go on and on.
Yes, you
Lisa, 2 minutes in.
2.5 minutes in.
It's
and
all
this
you.
Is my segment.
Yeah. Oh, how's that for an intro?
I would also say included in that is also microenvironments. Oh, yeah. I mean, in one yard, you could have 4 or 5 different microenvironments. So yeah, it does matter where the sun hits and yada, yada, yada. But that's where professionals can help you.
Well, we is professionals, that's for sure.
So right now we're seeing all the summer shrubs and flowers blooming, and it's pretty. Yeah. You definitely, we're past that spring. The lilacs are done. The forsythia is done. That spring stuff. And now we're into the summer color, which is actually quite pretty. And there's a lot of shrubs that do very well here. If you're looking for summer color to mix into your yard. The one that I really, really like is the Rose of Sharon, or hibiscus in the hibiscus family. Now it's not the great big monster hibiscus you see in Hawaii, but it's a beautiful shrub. Most of them are going to get 6 to 8 feet kind of in there. And they're going to bloom with beautiful, long-lasting flowers, and it'll just be full. There's double ones, like this is those of us who can see
on the camera. There's one that's really fluffy, and there's one that's more hibiscus.
The lavender chiffon is a double one, so it almost has more of almost a peony or rose look to it because it has that full look. The other one is more of a traditional hibiscus look, simple. This one's kind of a dark pink with a red center. Now there's many colors, lavender, white, pinks, dark purples, you name it. There's lots of colors in the hibiscus family. Nice little shrub for here, goes dormant in the wintertime, but takes our cold weather just fine. Comes back in the spring, leaves back out, and blooms, midsummer, pretty much through the end of summer.
Autumn, yeah.
So nice shrub for here. People should definitely have one in their yard. Does very well.
At least one. Maybe
at least
2 or
one.
3.
The other one I didn't bring a blossom in, but that also is a great continual bloomer through the summer, is a butterfly bush.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are used to seeing those, but they've actually come out with quite a few varieties now. So we're kind of used to that 6 to 8 foot tall, gets rangy, takes over your yard. Well, they've come in with many that are much more behaved. So they get 4x4, 5x5, and even some that are like 2x2, the little Pugster series. So, but they're nice that they don't have a little tiny blossom. They still have that real big blossom on them. So you get a huge show of color. You do have to deadhead them to keep them and fertilize them to keep them blooming. But what a wonderful shrub. And butterflies do like it.
Is that a butterfly bush?
It's
not.
You're
just talking about, you brought a chase tree, which looks just like it. I'm going to show off the folks on the camera.
But with butterfly bush, the butterflies really do love them. So you're helping with that. So this one I brought in is a chase tree. So it gets 12 to 15 feet tall. Has a bloom very, very similar to a butterfly bush, but it just gets bigger. It gets fuller. It has a purple, almost lilac type bloom to it. Very, very pretty. It's another long blooming tree out there.
Think they've gotten to heaven. You'll have lots of butterflies in this plant.
Just pollinators in general. It is a great pollinator plant out there. And very drought hardy. Super animal resistant. Your deer aren't going to be chomping on it.
Guaranteed. We got several personal experience. Deer in javelina, do not bother chase tree. It's a great one.
Yeah. Another long one along with that is the desert willow.
Yeah, that's right.
Which are definitely starting to bloom around town right now. I get about the same height.
Yeah.
I like the ones that don't produce the pods. So Timeless Beauty, Bubba, those are Sweet Katie. So they're not producing pods, so they bloom a lot longer. Yeah. And hummingbirds love those.
There are plants that all plants are not the same. So so red tip photinia. Out of all the red tip photinia, there's some that are more disease resistant. They actually are fuller. They have better reds. There's actually different grades. Roses, there are some that are some that get disease that animals just eat like crazy. There's some that take the sun better. And chase tree, there's some plants that grow better. Desert willow, there's some that are actually preferred where, for my friends, I want to guide you into what's better in your yard that you're going to enjoy more for many years to come. Mm-hmm. Yes, it might have a patent on it. You might have to pay a few bucks more, but you will be so much more delight in your backyard just by planting for years to come. You will be happier because it blooms easier without any care, without the disease, without the problems that some things. Anyway,
right. Definitely worth it.
We go on and on.
Yes.
Yeah.
We go on and on. Other things blooming right now are the crepe myrtles.
Oh, yeah.
Those are they're again 6-ish. They're coming up with new ones that stay smaller now, which is nice. But beautiful bright color, usually pinks and purples and whites and lavenders, and the colors are just very dynamic out the yard, especially when that's very pretty, honey.
Next time,
especially when you're in the heat of summer and you're kind of like to look out and see those crepe myrtles just shining out there is amazing. So definitely check out the crepe myrtles. So the other one that I brought in, so this is Caryopteris, sometimes called bluebeard or blue mist. This is a shrub, probably 4x4. Another really drought hardy, animal resistant. And when it blooms, it is the whole shrub is crazy. In bloom.
It's freakish.
Great pollinator plant, just really pretty. Nice one for your yard, mixes well in with your crepe myrtles and your butterfly bush and things like that. So,
summer lover, just loves the heat.
So this one I brought in is a gardenia. So the gardenias
Yeah.
So the ones we have at the garden center right now are just in full bloom. And I just like to go walk over there because it smells so good. And I love gardenias. So you can just come in and just smell the gardenia. Bring your coffees, your iced tea.
And the Daphne, where they're kind of side by side.
Yeah.
You're wondering, where's that smell coming from? It's from both of them.
Right.
So Daphne and gardenias are some of the strongest fragrant plants. In the
a little bit more of a shade plant, but they do nicely here. And then I brought in just a couple of real quick annuals. So annuals, one season, one and done, but they just bloom their little hearts out for that. Great for containers. This one's a penta. This is a great butterfly attractor. excellent, excellent. And then, of course, lantana. Who doesn't love the heat more than a lantana?
I know, that's crazy.
I don't know,
yeah.
but look at the color, pinks and yellows, and just do wonderful in containers and brighten those pots.
We have both. We've got up at elevation, we've got, all the lantanas are perennial down in Phoenix. Down up here, only a few. So we've got the perennial varieties. They come back every year. And we've got these fancy, bright colored ones. We got both. And we've got them separated so we can help you grow them better, stronger. Anyway, Lisa, thank you for the summer flowers that'll just shine in your yard. Be right back after this.
Water's Garden companion plants for June are golden locust, silverberry, Hall's honeysuckle, and moonshine yarrow.
Moonshine yarrow is a fuss-free, heat-loving perennial with large clusters of canary yellow flowers held above a ferny foliage. It's just stunning.
Mountain tough, you can't kill this perennial that only blooms better year after year.
Javelina and rabbit detest the summer blooms.
You'll find moonshine yarrow for a limited time at Water's Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott. You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain, owner of Water's Garden Center in Prescott. Look for more tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts through Ken's website. Additional shows of this podcast, read his weekly garden column, or follow him on Facebook, Instagram at watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com.